You are listening to the Interview Podcast,
where we interview the real you.
We discover our guests' passions, skills, dreams, and wisdom they've learned along the way.
Get ready for some friendly banter,
Controversial hot takes.
Christian pickup lines, and riveting conversations.
Let's dive in. Jen!
Let's go!
We're back! Whoa! We're back!
Derek!
Can you believe it?
I can't. I mean, I can.
I
Because we're
can.
here.
I know.
But it's hard to believe that it's actually been,
6
our
months?
break has been over.
I know. Jen,
Well, it's technically not 6 months because it's May right now when we're recording. But when
Right.
you're hearing this, it's going to be July 1st.
July 1.
Welcome to July.
Yes.
And it'll be
Summer.
6 months since we've stopped, since our last episode.
Correct.
So, but today it's
Right.
been almost 5 months since we recorded last, which
Yeah.
has literally flown by.
It has. I feel like January was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And here we are, Jen.
I know.
So,
When we talked about
been a
should we
wild
take
ride.
a break, do we need the break and
Mm-hmm.
all that, and we decided to go ahead and do that. I don't think we realized how much we needed it because
yes.
Derek and I barely spoke for 3 months. And
Hey,
when
I'm Derek, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm Jen.
Okay,
It's
pleasure.
nice to meet you.
Great to do a podcast with you.
Yeah, Derek's my co-host. I'm Derek's co-host, and we now first met today.
Yes. It's like starting over
Yeah,
almost.
it kind of feels like
It's
it.
not, but yeah.
Starting over a new leaf.
Oh.
With
we
if anybody's watching,
we've turned several leaves.
the plant we have it's quite interesting. But
To me, this is a ficus, which
Yeah.
I don't even know what a ficus
I
is.
don't either.
But I'm calling this a ficus.
To me, it's just some greens, and we try to spice it up. But we do need
Yes.
to get a plant or something
Yes.
in here to have for all you watchers on YouTube out there that
There you
watch.
go.
So you can have something to look at. Other
we
than
might have
just us.
something to spice it up a little bit.
But yeah,
So,
we both had discussed not that long ago. We didn't know how we would have kept recording in the last 6 months
Yeah.
with the time that we had. Both of us have been very busy
Mhm.
with life and our jobs and so many things that have been happening that we were like, when would we have found time to even do this?
It would have felt impossible, and it would also felt really hard, like to put our hearts into it, just because of how busy things were. But
yeah, it would have felt like probably more of a burden because like we got to
Yes.
record, but we just don't really have the energy or the
Right.
time.
right.
So it was really needed and good, and it still feels like it was super short.
Sure.
But we are excited. I think. Are we excited, Derek?
Oh, so excited! Did you see how hype I was? Jen?
yeah, Derek was
I haven't
like.
been that hype since I don't know sliced bread or something. I don't know.
So we're
Yeah.
really excited to be back and what the podcast is going to look like moving forward. And thank you guys so much for your patience
Yeah.
in waiting for these last 6 months while we were on sabbatical. And so,
Yeah.
like we said, we wanted to take a break so we could come back stronger than ever. So no pressure, but here we
You
are.
see how strong we are? You
This
see these
is-
guns? See how strong we are? Yeah,
This is
yeah.
us being
This is-
stronger than ever right now.
You're right.
So
We've had a bunch of people asking though, like, "Hey, when you guys coming back?" And like that means the world to us because it means
Yeah.
like, wow, people are still actually thinking about it, even though they haven't listened to us for several months.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Much love.
yeah,
All
it's
you out
been
there.
cool to hear
It
people
has.
be like, "We missed the podcast.
I
When are you
know.
coming back?" I'm like, "Do
Exactly.
people even care about
People
this?"
even, yeah, exactly.
And they do, and
They
it's
really
cool.
do.
And we've gotten more followers on Instagram over the last 6 months, which is incredible because
Yeah.
they haven't been getting any new content.
Yeah.
And so we're really ready to see where this goes. And
Yes.
so our podcast is going to take a little bit of a turn, guys.
Jen, what's some new
yeah.
vision here? Go
Yeah.
for it. Kick
Good
us off.
question, Derek. Good question.
Thanks for
So-
asking your own question there. I got yeah.
Yeah, I asked it. He asked it.
Yeah.
Previously, our goal and our mission had been to interview people because we wanted to hear the interview podcast where we interview the real you.
Mm-hmm.
And so we loved hearing people's stories, loved hearing their life lessons and all of that. And we still, may bring some of that in.
Mm-hmm.
But in talking about vision for the future, Derek and I both felt that we wanted to kind of transition our podcast a little bit to start being more topical, talk about topics and issues and different things that we as believers in society today think about, things that matter to us, things that are important, things that maybe are controversial.
That we have questions about.
Yeah, because we don't know everything. And so
crazy, I know.
yeah, I know, especially Derek. I know most things, but
Correct. That's why we need more Jen talking, less
just
Derek.
kidding, just kidding.
Yeah.
So, and we got good feedback from that. People would love to hear episodes where we actually dive into like a topic and discuss it.
Yes.
And so that's kind of what we're looking to do is bring in some guests. We still want to have guests because we know you don't want to, as much as you love Derek and
I know.
you don't only want to hear from us. So we're going to bring in guests to talk about specific topics that we feel they would have something to give towards that.
Yes.
Wisdom, experience, knowledge. And so we're excited to see what that could look like where we have a topic and, some topics that we've, even talked about are like talking about social media,
Yeah.
spiritual warfare,
Mm-hmm.
Procrastination, church leadership,
Ooh.
healthy conflict resolution.
Oh, man.
I mean,
We all need that. Ah!
Even me and Derek.
I can't believe that just
You know?
happened, Jen.
No, I can.
Oh,
We're
wow.
in sync.
Well, for after 6
After
months, that was
6
pretty
months,
good.
we're
Dang.
still rocking and rolling,
Right
guys.
back at
So
it. God bless.
sharper than ever. So some of those, and even issues like abortion and human trafficking, things that are very, very heavy topics that we want to just discuss them and learn about some of these issues, but also how can we as believers
Yeah.
better be equipped
Yeah.
to combat some of these difficult things that we
Yeah.
face and just to live better lives, honestly.
Yeah.
For Jesus and do better in relationships and all of that. And so
Yeah.
we're really, really looking forward to what it could look like. And we also really want to hear from you guys in that too. And we're going to give opportunities as you follow us on
Mm-hmm.
social media and you hear our episodes. You're going to start hearing where we reach out to you. What do you guys
What
want to hear
questions
about?
do you have? Yeah. What
Right.
do you want to hear about? Correct. Yeah.
What's close to your heart? What's something that you're struggling with? What's something that you're not
Yes.
sure about?
Yep.
And we're not saying we're going to be able to give you the answers, but we're going to talk about it.
We'll give you some
know.
content. And you can
We'll
either
give
get
you
rid of it or
something.
be like, that was kind of good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And maybe it'll even just take you down a thought pattern that you
Yes.
didn't have before,
Yes.
that God can reveal something to you you didn't know before. And so that's kind of what we want to do. And we have a lot of our own, thoughts and topics we want to talk about that mean a lot to Derek and I. But we also want to hear from you guys. What is stuff happening in your daily life that people don't talk about? Or maybe
Yeah.
they do talk about, but it's not talked about in the right way.
Right.
Whatever that looks like. So
Right.
it's still going to be the interview podcast. We
it
are
is.
always going to be the interview podcast. We're just going to get the interview now of more of topics instead of
Yes.
people as much.
Yes.
Am I right on that,
You're
Derek?
correct. Well said, Jen. Well
Okay.
said. Okay.
So
yeah.
more to come on that, guys, but wanted to give you just an overview of the vision moving forward
Mm-hmm.
into what we are planning on doing as we start the interview up again
Yes.
after 6 months of being on a break.
Yes. Yes.
So
We're excited. We hope you're excited. We are really excited to be back and to dive into some of these things. So yeah, stay tuned. So it's
for
going to be
sure.
fun. So
Yeah.
Well, this episode is brought to you by, we did sponsors for all our episodes. So this episode is brought to you by our Patreon subscribers. So just a huge shout out to you guys. This is these people have such a dear place in hearts, all of you that are followers, but people that
For
have actually
sure.
put some money behind this thing to help us, that offsets our studio costs. What it costs us to upload all these episodes for you guys, just stuff like that. You guys are amazing. A lot of people have been with us for a while now.
Yeah.
There is 24 people, Jen, which is
that's so wild.
it's wild. I'm looking at this list of names here, and I'm just gonna read them real quick because they deserve a
it.
quick
No,
shout
they
out.
need a shout out. Absolutely.
They really do. So we've got Aiden, we've got Javen, we've got Beth, we've got Darren, we've got Jared, we've got Victoria, we've got. I really should wrap this. Dang.
Well,
if only
I
was.
think you should probably speak it, Derek. You're doing
You're
all right.
right.
Just with
You're
that.
right.
Let's
I was
keep it.
trying to get into
Let's
rapping.
not risk that.
You're right.
Maybe
I'm not
next
Forrest
episode.
Frank up in here. Maybe we get him to
True.
do a rap with
True.
these or
He
something.
could do
So,
it.
Yeah, you're right. Shout out Forrest Frank. So Darren, Jared, Victoria, Karina, Carrie, Eric, Etta, Sharon, Josh, Ryan, Ryder, Hannah, Lilia. I'm sorry. I think that's Lilia. Lilia. You know who you are.
I mean, okay.
It's not a rapper name.
Lillian?
Right? Lily. No, it's Lyliya.
Oh, wow.
Lilia. I think so.
Wow, that's a cool name.
I know. It's a great name.
Awesome.
Rosa Beth, Cinda, Martin, Delilah, Devin, Brittany, Abby, and just most recently, Rebecca. So,
Wow.
Huge shout out to you guys.
And some of these have just signed on within the last
Even
6
while we
months?
weren't recording. Most
Wow.
of these were with us while we were recording, but there's been a few that have signed up on since then. So,
Wow.
guys, thank you. I'm serious. This means so much to us, and this helps us expand even what we're able to do, and helps bring in some help for the podcast. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, big shout out
Yeah.
to you guys. Thank you. Really appreciate
and for
you.
sticking with us through the 6 months of nothing.
That's when they say
That's
thick and
huge.
thin. That was the thin
Yep.
part, I think.
Yeah.
Or the thick part.
And is it about to get thick? Because I don't know.
I
if
don't
I like
know.
to say that.
I don't really want to say it's about to
Yeah.
get thick, but that feels very
But
weird.
you guys are the real ones.
Yes.
There's going to be some cool stuff coming your way. We haven't forgotten about you.
Oh,
you
I
guys mean
know.
a lot to us.
We do have something special
Yeah.
coming for you guys
Yeah.
and for new people that join too, but we have
Anybody in
something.
our Patreon family is going to have some special things that only you Patreon people get to have. I know we
Oh,
probably said that before, but we're actually doing it this time.
We're
actually back. We're actually going to have
Yes.
some cool stuff for you guys. So
Yes.
hold on. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yes,
We love you guys.
correct. And Jen, we're still doing individual episode sponsorship too.
Correct.
Tell us, are we're still doing that, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yes, we
How
are.
does that work?
So every episode has a sponsor,
Yes.
at least so far, which is a generous individual or business
Yep.
that comes on board and says, hey, we want to help cover the cost of your episode for whatever episode we're doing next. And so I think pretty much all of our episodes have been sponsored by incredible friends and businesses that
Yes.
that we know or have heard of us or in some way. And so that is like we're very grateful for that.
Huge. It's
And we're going to
amazing.
continue that. That is honestly what keeps us going.
Yeah.
And so if you guys are interested in sponsoring an episode, you yourself or a business or a family, whatever.
Yeah, or you can be like, I'm gonna pay, but you need to shout out this person. Like,
True.
you know,
could
put them on the
sponsor
spotlight.
on behalf of someone else. That's
Correct.
a great
Yeah, yeah.
point, Derek.
Yes.
So if you guys are interested in doing that, you can reach out to us on our Instagram page, or unless you know one of us personally, reach out to us, and we can get you set up with that. It is $100 for an episode to sponsor that.
Triple
and that,
figures.
Yeah, we're getting high up
Crazy.
there. Inflation
Crazy.
costs, you know. But that does help cover the cost of what it costs us to produce an episode, renting the studio. We do have some cool, fun people that are coming on board to help us out to make the video content better and the photo content better and our social media stuff better. And so, you know, with all those extra things that we're doing, having that $100 per episode helps cover the cost of that.
Big time.
And so that's no pressure. No one has to do that. These episodes are completely free.
It's coming out
to
regardless.
most of you. We're doing it no matter what. But if, you know, God lays it on your heart, I don't know if he
you
does that for
feel
these types of
led,
things.
yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
If you want to. I mean, if you want to sponsor, even if that's all it is.
Yes.
We would love and appreciate that. And with that sponsorship would get you guys, you know, airtime, a shout out of some kind for you, your business, your family, or whoever else you are wanting to be shouted out for that episode. So yeah, reach out to us if you guys are interested in sponsoring. And thank you for everyone that has sponsored so far. You guys are amazing.
Yes.
Couldn't do it without you.
Thank you. Seriously. Thank you.
All right. So Derek,
Yeah.
real quick,
Yes.
in this episode, since we have been gone for 6 months, we've had a lot of life lived in, and
bit.
again, well, 6 months, it's right at this point in time, it's been only about 4.5 months, 5 months.
5,
And so
yeah.
even in that period of time,
Oh, for sure.
as we alluded to earlier, we've done so many things and been so busy. So what have you been up to? Just give me a summary of your last 5 months from January to almost June.
Mm-hmm.
What you've been up to, any highlights or things you want to touch on to share with the listeners so they can kind of get caught up on your life.
Yeah, sure. No, it's been an awesome year. Feel super blessed. It's amazing how time keeps going faster, but you know, I've enjoyed it. The beginning of the year started off great. I'm in a book club with 2 friends, and if I can tell you one thing to do, it's like join a book club, start a book club, something to help keep you accountable that just keeps you learning and growing. I would highly recommend that. So I spent some time in Florida with 2 friends. At the beginning of the year, we just talked about the year. What are some visions, some goals? We just it was a great time, a little retreat. So, hey, take some time to do that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Kind of like, Lord, what are you saying for this year? Is there
That's
a word for
smart.
the year? Is there get together with some friends that like you're passionate about some of the similar things or goals you have for the year and have them keep you accountable. So just want to
Do you want
shout
to
out.
shout out those 2 friends? or no?
I thought
You're
about
gonna
it,
keep them
but I'm going to
private?
keep them no name.
Okay.
Some people probably know. They're 2 of my really good friends. They know who, a lot of people probably know who they are, but we'll keep them nameless.
Shout out to the no-namers.
The no-namers. So anyway, I appreciate those guys so much. But anyway, so do that.
That's a
then-
good word.
Yes.
Find yourself a group and keep yourselves accountable.
Absolutely.
Have vision and direction for
Yeah.
what you want, where you want to go.
Where you want to go? What
That's
do you want to
awesome.
do?
Yeah.
People with passions, likes, interest. Because it's honestly, it's kind of changed my life, and it's
Wow.
been awesome. So bless up, book club. We
Way
just
to
sit
go.
around, drink, sip tea, and talk about books.
Sit-
Not really, but
We sit around and drink, sip tea.
I don't.
I was like,
we don't.
What are you drinking?
I know. You're right.
Normally,
JK.
when people say we drink,
water. Water.
yeah, everybody knows Derek
Everybody
drinks
knows.
tea.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, after that, I was blessed to go on a Uganda trip. And that was, I don't know. It's really hard to put into words how good that trip was, Jen. Like I knew it was going to be good, but God just really did some special things on that trip. And like the camaraderie, the bond, the fun you were able to have even while you were working hard was just it was nothing like I've ever quite experienced. Like each Africa trip, I've been able to go a couple times, but each trip is super special. But this was a group of people that from like people from Canada, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Like we had just a mashup, Tennessee, a mashup of people that, and I think the main thing that it is when you go together to serve something that's beyond yourself. Like it's not about you, it's all about others. When you do that and you work hard, it's literally one of the most fulfilling things you'll ever do. So
And you didn't know a lot of those people, did you, going into the trip, right?
I knew a few, but not
so there's
all
a
of
lot
them.
of new people, but like what
Yeah.
you said, you're all coming together with
Yes.
a common goal, and it
Yes.
just bonds you, and you have one focus.
You have one focus, one goal, and in that you have so much fun, and you almost feel invincible because even the challenges you face, that God is working, and that you can just like, okay, this didn't work out. What else can we do? Like, it just felt very effortless, even in the hiccups or the hurdles that we faced. So, big shout out to all those. I was honored. That was a crazy time because Nelson Koblenz, our international director that leads all these trips, his dad actually passed away over that time. So he wasn't able to come right away. So we actually did a little bit without him, which was a very new kind of interesting adventure.
Step up and probably take over and lead some of the things he normally would have.
Sure. Just kind of figure some of the stuff out. He helped set up some stuff and let us know what's going on. But a big shout out to Louis Stahl and Lester Zimmerman. Like, between like us three, like helping lead with them was one of the best things I've ever experienced. But also to the whole team, I just want to give them a quick shout out.
Oh yeah, sure.
So, where's my thing here? We had it's here somewhere.
Sorry, Derek says, "Oh, cow," when he's stressed. I'm not sure if that's a common thing.
There's not a cow entering, in case anyone was concerned.
Well.
But big shout out to Nelson, Louis, Lester, Freeman, Gavin, Kyle, Bryant, Kendall, Josh, Jordan, Heather, Brianna, Kayla, and Christina. Big shout out to you guys. Much love to you guys. I just recently had a little reunion with them up in New York City. We got together just because we're buds.
Because you guys became friends over that short period of time.
So anyway, can't say enough good things about them and that trip. But that was an incredible trip, Jen.
That's awesome. I'm glad you got that opportunity.
Thank you, Jen. If you ever want to be part of one of those, you can reach out to us. We'll put you on a list to get notified of future trips, whatever, etc. But
cool.
A couple other quick things that I was able to do. I went to my first pro hockey game, Carolina Hurricanes game. Jen, you were there.
Yeah, actually, that was the one thing Derek and I did together in the last 5 months.
That's the only time we spoke in the
Pretty
last.
much.
I mean, close.
Yeah, I was along with Derek and a few people from our church. Yep. And what was your experience, Derek? What was your favorite part of that?
I loved it just because I'd been to like a minor league game but never a pro game, and the hockey fan base is pretty wild.
It's actually insane.
It actually is.
I was like, this is the most hype I've ever been for a sport I know nothing about.
Yeah.
And thought I could care less about.
But yet I'm into it.
I was caring. I felt invested because the fans around me were so
they
invested.
They pull it out of you. Well, like if you're not
do.
cheering or into it, you're looking like you're an oddball.
Yeah.
So
it's the only sport I've ever watched that at all times while the game is going, it is like the most high energy the whole time. Like you don't really because the puck is going so fast and there's like a million close goals with a total of 3 at the end total.
A lot of shots,
but
not a lot of,
exactly.
Yeah,
and so it's like the crowd is always on the edge of their seat.
And there's like, oh, right.
Yeah, and it was really impressive. Like when they say the hockey crowd is one in its own, it is.
It is.
So it was very fun.
It was.
And I'd never even watched hockey before or knew anything about it, and I really enjoyed it.
Diehard fan, look at you.
Pretty cool. I mean,
impressed.
whatever. Go America. They
Go
won.
America.
The USA beat Canada.
I love how you know so much, Jen. Yeah, you're right.
Our friend Devin was
our Carolina Hurricanes beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, but
and we had Canadians with us. We had Canadians that were cheering for the Maple Leafs. But
we're international here at the pod. We have Canadian friends.
We do.
We haven't had any Canadian guests though.
I know.
We need to change that. We will.
We will.
But anyway, it was super fun because there's also sometimes it's kind of like the calm before the storm because like you're on your edge of your seat waiting for that goal.
Yep.
Because the moment they score that goal, everyone's just
people
up
are
and
losing their
they're
minds because it
literally
only
going
happens
crazy. Throwing babies
a couple times a game.
It's insane.
Well,
yeah, I almost caught a child going across. It was insane. But anyway, so that was amazing. We went to a conference down in Texas called BISO that is Becoming Something Live, where they record live podcast episodes of their podcast Becoming Something. That was amazing. They did a really great conference, and then they answered questions that we put live. And I think that was some of the things, even for our future vision, we're like, you know what, that was a really cool format, just because it's like, what are the questions we have today? Not, and they answered a lot of those, which was really cool. So
we take a lot of our like what we want to do with our podcast from what they do.
Sure. Yeah.
And so even the topical stuff, a lot of it is kind of inspired by Becoming Something.
And they've also copied us in a few things, but we won't mention that.
Of course. I mean, we're the goat, and then they, we're just copying off each other.
Yeah. But no, they do an amazing job. They really do. And it was cool to see them in person. Big respect for JP, Nate, and Kathy.
Yeah.
So
if you guys ever get a chance, check out Becoming Something, the podcast. It is what we want to do on steroids. Like they have so much wisdom, and they're great at presenting topics, and they talk about like hard-hitting stuff that matters today, which is what we want to also be talking about on our podcast. But definitely check them out because it's quality things. I've learned a lot and been encouraged a lot by their podcast.
Yep.
So it's cool you got to go experience that. I got to go last year and do it.
Yes.
but this year I wasn't able to. But I do love how they do that, and I'm like, maybe one day the interview podcast can have a live recording, big event where you all
put
can
on
come
a conference and the people
listen
come
to
in
us live, and we do episodes live. Like, how fun would that be? You know,
I've never
I'm
actually
just saying,
thought about that.
I have many times putting it out into the future here.
Sure.
Where we'd have some of you guys, our closest friends, come and be a part of a live event. We'll see.
That would actually be insane. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, my respect went way up. I love all three of them, but my respect for Nate Hilgenkamp went way up that weekend. I don't know, just with his maturity he showed. I know he had a lot more to say, but he didn't say for time's sake and just different stuff. But my respect went through the roof for him. So shout out for them. So. Yeah, two other things. Went to a Nate Bargatze. If you're not familiar with Nate Bargatze, the comedian, like the GOAT of comedy almost. Like maybe not quite the GOAT, but I would say top 3 in my book for sure. Between like him, Brian Regan, and then you've got the OG Tim Hawkins, but then you've got Jim Gaffigan. But shout out to Nate. He's
funny.
Worth going for 100%. If you haven't checked him out, do that. Go see a show. I about peed myself. It was incredible.
They say laughter is good medicine.
The
Bible says that.
I was drunk on that medicine, Jen.
So,
I was straight. I was drunk on that
Guys,
laughter.
I think Derek's a loose cannon coming back. Get ready for a lot of content that is just unfiltered.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. We should call it the unfiltered interview, maybe.
Honestly, it's about to be.
Anyway, but it was great. And then the last thing, there was a conference down in Florida called Wake. The first year, it was a merge of Revivalist Ministries Winter Retreat, and then also Oasis, Bill and Sally Lapp that had a conference out in Colorado for 2 years.
Both great conferences.
Both wonderful conferences. They merged this year in Florida to make a young adults thing, 18 and over. Very good first year. It was an honor to be there. Help on the worship team was just such an honor. So if you're ever interested in being that, follow Revivalist on their Instagram page. You'll see updates about that. But I would highly recommend something like that if you're going to Florida in May.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, Derek, you've been busy.
Been busy.
Got a lot going on. Those are just things outside of, our regular job.
Right.
Because Derek obviously works for Gospel Express and I work for Door of Hope. And so trying to do all of those things and keep a social life and new experiences along with full-time job is a lot. So as you can hear, Derek's been crushing it. So way to go, Jen. Derek. And I'm just excited you even have time to come back on the podcast.
Oh, it's a pleasure to make time, Jen.
But we're excited for what it could look like. And thanks for sharing that update.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to share on that, Derek?
No, I'm done. I've had my time. Jen, timers for you.
All right, well.
What have you been up to, girl?
Honestly, not a whole lot. Okay.
Sitting at home, wishing that we could record more.
I have also been so busy and it's been really good. But I did just a couple things outside of work. My work and job with Door of Hope has been very full right now. And so I've been really busy working with them on some new things and growing and expanding. And so that's been taking a lot of time. But I also spent about a month in Florida over Christmas and just worked from there and tried to do something a little different, have some time to spend with my grandparents who live there and some friends there. And so that was really fulfilling. I got to meet some new people that are doing ministry in Florida in their own different organizations that are similar in mission to what Door of Hope and what I'm doing.
Cool.
And so it was cool to connect with them and kind of share vision onto what they're wanting to do, what I'm doing. And so spending time there was really, really great for most of the month of January. And then I came home for just a short little stint. And then February, I headed off on the most crazy adventure ever
you did.
Waco, Texas.
Yes, you did.
And with four very dear friends and myself.
And you're still friends after living together? God bless.
Yeah. So we had
strengthened.
Went to Waco for the entire month of February and rented a house. And we lived there and we just did life. And it all came out of the BSO conference that Derek spoke about. We had gone to that conference the year prior and loved it so much, got along so well. We were like, why don't we just move here? And it was one of those things that, most trips never make it out of the group chat. But we kept talking about it and it just aligned. And we feel like it was God because it was such a breath of fresh air to be in a new city with a church family that we got to be a part of that was so incredibly encouraging and inspiring to us and that pushed us in ways that we really needed and just gave us kind of like a lift. Sometimes life gets like kind of a lot and you kind of forget, okay, where are we at? What are we going? What's our purpose
really
here?
About?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so just kind of doing a reset, having a slower schedule. I mean, it's incredible to be able to go and you like to a place where you have no committee meetings, no, Sunday evening meetings, no work meetings because you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
You have no commitments. And that's not something you want to do forever, but it was so refreshing to have that. And shout out to Carmen, Tosh, Reagan, and Chase. Those were my 4, the squad, and then Landon Graber as well, who joined us for just a part of that. It was one of the probably best experiences of my life. And if you get a chance to go do something that just seems like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you do that?
For sure.
The things that you learn and grow in and experience. And I love Waco, Texas so much, and may move there one day eventually.
Hey.
So we spent the whole month of February in Texas. So obviously that was pretty busy to not be home at all to catch up on things. And then I ran my first ever golf tournament.
Hey.
For Door of Hope. We ran a golf tournament at a beautiful course here in North Carolina, and it was a lot more work than I ever thought it would be to prepare for that, but it was so fun, and we got to do that end of April, and so a lot of March was preparing for that and doing all the things that we needed for that. And it was awesome. It was a really big success,
Jen.
and I honestly might take up golf after that because
Atta-girl.
golf courses are just so peaceful
They
and
are.
therapeutic. And
Yes, I agree.
so that was really fun. And then we also had a banquet a few weeks later in Florida for the ministry as well, and that I was running. And so those were kind of back to back. So my month of March and April were very full, focusing on that, as well as keeping up with all the other things of life. So that's me. I mean, obviously there's tons of other things we did, but those were some. Oh, I went to Guatemala. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Anyway, that was fun.
Of course you did. Yes.
My best friend Heather, one of my best friends, turned 30 this past April, and if you know Heather, she does everything big, go big or go home. So she wanted to hike a volcano on her 30th birthday. And so me and her family, some of her siblings and some friends headed off to Guatemala for a trip, and we
Risking
celebrated
life
her
and limb, hiking a volcano.
on her birthday.
Love that.
We got up at 4 a.m.
Yep.
and we hiked up
Wow.
a volcano, dormant volcano. Let's be real. I
Oh.
rode a horse because I got really tired. And they
Work
were
smarter,
available.
not harder. They were available.
I think I hiked 10 minutes, and I was like, this ain't for me.
Bring the horse.
We were
Trigger.
at-
Trigger.
We were at 7,000 feet.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's high.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
the
not
air
much
up there,
air.
pretty thin, and I already
Glad your
struggled.
horse made it too. Sheesh.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
Dang.
horse had a load. Anyway.
Hey, self roast. Those are rare. Nice, Jen.
So we got up the mountain, whatever
God
way we
bless,
got up,
yeah.
and then just got to experience the culture of Guatemala
Yeah.
in Antigua for about a week, and it was really, really cool. Really fun experience. I got to do that with her, celebrating her, which was really fun. So,
Wow.
but now we're trying to settle down, get
Mm-hmm.
back into somewhat of a routine, but also whatever opportunities come up, which
Of
we
course.
have, and you'll hear about them as we go. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Wow.
but that's all I have, Derek. I mean, if
Is that
anybody
it?
wants to hear more, call us up. You know?
Give me a buzz.
Yeah,
I'll fill you
remember.
in. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that was just basically this episode. We wanted to recap a little bit of our lives the last 6 months.
Yep.
Let you guys know we're back, and let you guys know the direction of the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
which, as I mentioned at the beginning, was going for discussing some topics.
Yes.
What does God want us to talk about? First of all, we want to seek Him
Yeah.
in this because we want this podcast to not only be entertaining, but to honor Him and encourage the body of believers, and be a light to those that listen. And so with that, we just want to talk about things that matter. Like we're going to have funny segments. We have,
of course.
we have segments that we want to, even maybe hear from you guys on some suggestions on what segments should we do.
Right.
So we really want to do some fun segments and get lots of laughter because that's good medicine. We love that. But we also want to actually talk about things too that mean something and
Yes.
that matter.
Substance.
And so that's what we're going to go for
Yep.
moving forward. And so we'll be, stay tuned, stay listening. Every other week is our goal. Every 2 weeks we want to release an episode. And it'll be fun to see how it turns out.
It will. We're here for an adventure, and we hope you guys are too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you want to sponsor an episode, reach out to us. Fantastic. If you want to join, $3 a month, Patreon. God bless. That is always a thing you can do. That's in the link. That's in the bio in our Instagram page.
Yes.
You can find that there.
Most of, I think, if you go on our Instagram page,
Yes.
Derek does a great job. He has a link tree that he made that has a bunch of different things you can go on and pretty much find anything you need. if
Anything
you
we
wanna-
talk about pretty much will
and
be
you
there.
can message us on there.
Yes.
And we'll respond as soon as possible.
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Anything
think
else,
that's it.
Derek?
No, Jen, it's been real.
Also, we are going to try to do shorter episodes. So
yeah.
clearly, and it's not because we don't think we have good content and things to say, but
Yeah.
we recognize people have busy lives, and we want to be able to talk about things and keep it, to where you feel like, oh, we can actually listen through a whole episode.
Yeah.
So if you notice that our episodes go from 2.5 hours to maybe 30 minutes,
Joe Rogan to
literally
little clips. Yeah.
it is intentional because we want to make these episodes more palatable for you to be able to get through the whole thing and not drag it on too long, even though all the episodes we've had in the past we've loved and have been good content.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you'll see some changes as we go on.
You will. And we don't regret any of the stuff we did because we felt there was value there. And granted, not everyone saw the value that it's going to vary what season of life you're in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're excited to maybe just get into the meat of the matter a little bit quicker on some of the stuff while doing some fun stuff.
Yep.
And keeping it real. So
for sure. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in for this first episode of being back July 1st.
Yes.
Enjoy July 4th. It's coming up, and we can't wait to see you all next.
Yep.
And as usual, this is the Interview Podcast. I've been Jen.
I've been Derek.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.